All right, welcome in back to Super Bowl 56 here at Radio Row. We're so pleased to be joined by Jake Plummer, longtime quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And Jake, first of all, thanks for coming on with us. And I have to ask you a question I've been dying to ask you for 15 years now. And we just talked about this. So there was this great story when you were supposed to come play for the Bucs. Jon Gruden was going to come recruit you, which I'm sure was magical. I can't wait to hear the story. And the story was that he came to some mountain cabin, remote, no water, no electricity, going up this mountain trying to find you to get you to come play for the Bucs. At least that's what it's been embellished to. And I come to find out none of that's true.
Well, no, there is truth to some of that. He did come to North Idaho. I do have a cabin. He didn't come to my cabin. We have electricity. We have water. I mean, everything.
My story was so much better.
Yeah, I mean, for him, it maybe seemed that way because he was outside of Tampa in the coaching realm in an environment he wasn't comfortable in or maybe wasn't used to being in. But North Idaho was my place. That's where I used to go playing ball in the off season, or if a week or two off, I go to the lake and just hang out, really relax, get my mind right. So he was coming up there to recruit me to come down as my rights. I retired, but my rights were traded to Tampa. Shanahan traded them to Tampa. The story of him coming up was classic. I mean, they were recruiting hardcore to try to get me to come down. He knew that I could be the quarterback to help them and help do what he wanted to do. And I believe I could have. I could have come down there, and I think I'd have had an extended career. Who knows what could have happened.
But this was 06?
Yeah, but I was done. I'd retired. I was ready to retire in 05 when we were in the AFC Championship game. I was hoping to win the Super Bowl, be the MVP, and ride off into the sunset. I was done. But I came back for that 10th season. My rights were traded to Tampa in really a money grab by them. They either got me or they got money that was mine from Bolin. So for them, it shows you the business of the end of the day. They didn't care that I was like, I'm done. I don't want to play. I mean, even when my fiance at the time was like, what if Jake comes back and blows his knee out, John? How are you going to feel? He's like, well, that's football. That's the nature. I was just done. Mentally, I was done. My heart wasn't in it. I'd made a very good living. My body was getting beat up. I just was done playing ball. And I told John, you're a guy in a team that I thought would always be great to play for because his defenses always seemed to be so good that his starting quarterback could throw like 2 or 3 picks and they'd always still win. I mean, if I threw a pick in Arizona, we would lose the game and it'd be my fault. So I was always like, man, it'd be fun to kind of play on a team where if I threw a couple picks, we'd still be having a chance to win. So I told him all this, but he wanted me bad, and I can understand that, but I was just done. I didn't want to go down there half-cocked because the football game is a game you got to play with 100% heart, and I wasn't ready.
As I recall, you just had to walk in the door, and even if you made the team, you would have picked up a huge bonus, right?
Yeah, there was a few guys that were on the depth chart that I was ahead of, and I never even came to camp, A couple quarterbacks, as I come through my travels and find this all out. But
Chris Sims, I think.
Yeah, it was a inviting scenario, but I had made my mind up to be done, and not that I ever looked down upon these guys that would retire, come out. I understood that then at that point, because even after that, I had that inkling like, man, I'd love to go play for Kubiak. I wanted to play for Gary Kubiak. I just wanted to go play for him wherever he was. No other coach really was enticing to me or wanted me to really was somewhere I would want to go play. But yeah, when the game's over and it's done, I think it's time to go. And I don't look back with any regrets. I'm happy with my decision. I played 10 straight years, 4 straight years, 14 counting college of high-level football. So, I mean, that's, for me, being undersized, not built for this game, I was done beating my body up. I was ready to go do other things. And, that was so long ago now where my life is now. I'm on a fun journey that just keeps getting better and better.
I just kind of picture that Jon Gruden coming up, Jake the Snake, we're going to make you the NFL superstar. We're going to win the Super Bowl. No?
Oh, he said everything. Yeah, I mean, they were ready to give. They were fist bumping under the table at the Capone's, this local eatery in the little pub, and McKay looked at me. Rich McKay looked at John, and he looked at me. He's like, "Listen, if you come, we'll put $1 million in your foundation." And I was like, "Oh," and I kind of looked off, and I looked back, and they were fist bumping under the table, like, "This is gonna get him. We're gonna get him." They didn't realize that it wasn't that I didn't want to play for them. It's that my heart was not in it. And I could not go play a game that requires 100% focus, whatever required that of me when I played. I was ready to go and explore life in a different way. I was getting married that year. It was time to move on. And so yeah, I was honored to like be wanted because probably 98% of the NFL guys that end their careers don't end it on their terms. They get kicked out. You're not good enough. You're old. You're injured. We don't want you anymore. So to leave on that made the transition a lot easier. And, I didn't watch the game for a while. Then I got back into it. And then I kind of ebb and flow like that. Right now, I'm not into watching much football. It takes a lot of time. And it's a repetitive thing that just doesn't grab my interest as much. I pay attention enough to know what's going on. I mean, I love to see two new teams that we haven't seen in the Super Bowl for a while be here, especially an organization like Cincinnati. But yeah, man, I mean, life just throws a lot of stuff at you, and that was an interesting time for sure to be pursued towards the end of your career. It felt good to be able to I'm out of here. Thanks, guys. I've ridden this horse long enough.
Awesome story, and it kind of reminds me of what's going on with Brady right now. I don't know if you know Tom at all, but I mean, he's in that situation now. He said he's retired. Then last night he comes out and says, well, maybe I might come back. I mean, how did you wrestle with that? What do you think he's dealing with right now? Especially when he, like you, went out at the top. He's going out on the top of his game. That's got to be a really hard decision when you're playing at that high level.
Yeah. There was more than just the game and the pain of the game and my body that went into this. I mean, it was also just for me of being a kind of a private person and liking to have a little anonymity and kind of be able to go my own route. When you get to a certain level, it was hard to go out in public. I had social anxiety. Like everywhere I went, if someone looked at me, I'm like, oh God, here it goes. As soon as they come get a picture, then I'm stuck. And then I have to be a bad guy because I got to go, you guys. Oh, you asshole. Like, why am I an asshole? I was just walking through here. Somebody saw me and wants a picture. Now 50 people all of a sudden line up, but I got to go. I got a plane to catch. So there was more than just the game. I mean, I still loved the game. I still loved rolling to the left and ripping a crazy ball between four defenders and coaches saying, why the hell did you do that? Well, I was trying to make a play, coach. I missed that and the guys, but I didn't miss everything encapsulating what that, being an NFL quarterback at an organization and what that means, what it represents. You're the face of that organization. So I was ready to just get away. And
that now, you think he's dealing with that separation anxiety?
If he is, then good God, he's played for so long. Has he prepped himself for the end of what is going to end eventually? I mean, you can't prep yourself for when we all die, but we're all going to die. So can you accept?
Maybe not him. Maybe
we're going to accept that we're all going to be gone at some point. Like, hey, ego gets involved, I think, more than anything. I mean, this guy obviously is considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, for what his career represents and winning. Yes, the greatest, because who has more Super Bowl titles and played many games and everything. It's amazing. So what else is there left to accomplish? There's something inside of him driving him to doubt if it's time to go or not. I wish him the best and would say, get out, go out and enjoy life. But I mean, he obviously has it down. He's enjoying life. He's got the ability to play another year. If he wants to do that, great. But I'm personally going to be just fine without having to watch another Tom Brady Super Bowl. No offense.
I think you may be getting a call from Giselle for consulting for her husband. So be looking for that on your phone. She could just listen to what Jake just said, right? Yeah. Tell me about your company. What's going on? I know you were out at the Wounded Warriors game. I was out there last night. A lot of these guys that are dealing with PTSD and real pain from amputations and these injuries. And you guys have something that's really, really promising treatment. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I was able to get into at least helping people look at a different way to approach health and wellness when I got into cannabis and CBD. Mainly was hemp and CBD oils. And, that was a hurdle to get over, to change that stigma on marijuana and that plant when it's two different plants. Marijuana and hemp, two different plants, are both very beneficial to the human body in two different ways. So we got through that, and now look, where that's gone to, where the NFL now has bent the rules and allowing guys to take CBD because it's good for your brain as a neuroprotectant. It's great for inflammation. Helps you sleep with anxiety, good with anxiety and stress. And so now another opportunity's come around to get into the fungal kingdom, which is an entire kingdom of mushrooms. And when you say mushrooms, most people think, oh, I don't want to trip out. That's that hippie stuff. Well, yes, those are part of the fungal kingdom, and they have a purpose on this earth. As you believe in God or whatever you believe in, everything that is on this earth has a purpose. And if we can go into, as human beings, I believe we're all programmed to use the medicines that are growing in the earth to live optimally. And one of those being the fungal kingdom is what I've become been gifted again a chance to explore and get involved with. And Umbo Mushrooms is doing just that, using, they're not going to trip you out, but they're medicinal mushrooms that have been used for years in China and in Asia to treat breast cancer, to treat depression, anxiety, insomnia, all sorts of ringing in your ears. I mean, the sky's the limit on this kingdom of mushrooms that we're now exploring. And so Umbo wants to do that, along with, research psychedelics, research psilocybin as a form of treatment for untreatable depression, anxiety, addictions to opioids, nicotine, alcohol. There's a lot going on here, and people are becoming a little tired of being sick and tired. And when these plant options come around, I'm just here to make people think about it. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm living example of how it can help you to approach life in a different way, to see through a different lens, to appreciate what we've been given here on earth. It's the ability to get up and wake up and breathe and do amazing things.
I think a lot of people in this last couple of years have woken up to a lot of the ills of big pharma, and this is just I don't even want to call it an alternative, but it's something that is proven, right? There's a lot of research behind it.
Yeah, and that's what's happening right now. And Umbo, what we want to do is provide non-psychedelic medicinal functional mushrooms, but the money we raise will help fund the research, because everything has to be research. We got to get something, proof behind that this actually is a medicine before it can be declassified. And really, it's strange to say that the plant is illegal. Who did this?
This pharma stuff.
Some powerful white man decided that this is bad for us. We don't want people to realize how good they got it. We want them to, be in a cycle of ill, disease, and or dis-ease, if you want to call it what it is. This is just a way to expose people to think about, hey, there are other options out there. Don't be afraid to look into them. Think for yourself and go out there and check out getumbo.com. We got a great line of products, a bar, capsules, and a gummy. And then also, with psychedelics, there's a shift happening there. It's not a party drug, but it's being used more as a therapeutic, in a therapeutic way to help people with some problems that they're dealing with, whether that's from past DNA passed down through epigenetics, or something you went through in childhood, or just something you're dealing with every day. And I'm all for it. If we can help our war vets come back and cut the suicide rate down, give them the ability to get over their PTSD, depression, anxiety, a lot of similar things that former athletes deal with too when they get out of the game. I'm all for the research behind that and helping give them an option and not making it illegal where they have to go to another country to do this. Like, let's get serious about helping these war vets. And then it becomes real, all of a sudden. Us football players are one thing, but war vets, that's a whole nother thing. They're helping us live the life we live here in America. They're over there fighting, giving up their livelihoods to make this a safe place to live. So, if there's a way to help them, I'm all for it.
Jake, thanks so much for your time. Great stories, and that sounds like something that's much needed for a lot of different people. How can the folks find out more about it?
Yeah, well, one is getumbo.com is what I'm involved in, but the real deal is Marcus Capone, who's a former Navy SEAL. He played college football in Southern Illinois. He's got Vet Solutions, and what they do is they take war vets, they take them out of the country to give them a plant medicine to help them deal with some of them. Some amazing stories he's told me of guys that were actually ready to pull the trigger, and he happened to reach out and present this to them, and they've now gotten over that. They're living a full life instead of taking their lives. And so there's work to be done here to give back to these people, these soldiers, these veterans that have sacrificed their lives to go help us live in such freedom in such ways. There's really a lot to be done. And so vetsolutions.org is his organization that helps fund research and also trips for these guys to go find some healing. So yeah, and anything else, just people out there, think about what you're putting in your body and be cognizant of it. If you're going to eat Doritos, then eat them in love, eat them with purpose and intent, and they might not be as bad for you as they are if you're just eating them to eat them because they're yummy.
Thanks a ton. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy that California sun.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be back to Radio Row here, Super Bowl 56, right after this. Stay with us.
Awesome. All right, JP. Thanks, man.
Really cool.
Thank you,
That
guys.
was outstanding.
Out of here. Out in the sun.
Go get it.
Jake, can I get a quick, you guys? Yeah, let's do it.